Saturday morning, September 16th, 2017. It's 150 miles between morning eggs, coffee, and the trails just above Strawberry, California. But finally, after Bay Area traffic, the dust of the valley, the last bit of traffic of the foothills, finally back up in the trees, finally back up in the dirt, and finally get the world to yourself again. You relax. You find your rhythm and your center of balance, and the motorcycle disappears. It's just you and the trail. That's more like it. That's what a proper off-road bike is supposed to feel like. I had no idea what I was missing before I put the steering stabilizer on. I'm on my way up to Eagle Peak. I was here a week ago in the truck to scope it out, and I thought I had found the way to Eagle Peak, but I did not. What I found out later when I got home and started looking at the maps is that I started in on the trail to Eagle Peak, but because it was not on my GPS, I couldn't tell where it was going, so I took the left fork where it dead ended. I had no reference to know that I was anywhere near Eagle Peak. So come with me now. I'm gonna go now blind up this road. I'm at the junction between, I think it was 4 and 12 and where 5 and 74 starts. Slow and steady wins the race. This is where I parked my truck last week and scouted ahead on foot to find out which direction the trail went. According to my GPS, this trail does not exist. lucky I've got the gimbal because I'm still shaking a bit. Wrist is a little tender. I just uprighted the bike out of the bushes. Both my panniers have come off. I just ass over tea kettled. This is another lesson in not getting too comfortable on these big bikes once you get your momentum going. I was coming down this hill and stupidly decided that I was on my mountain bike and not on a giant dual sport that wants to kill you. It always wants to hurt you, don't forget that. There's the water bar, so I gunned it, just wrapped it in second, and everything was cool at first, but my rear wheel hit early and it bucked the rear end up, and I rode a nose wheelie until about here and ended up into the bushes. And this is the first where the front of the bike went nose down and I went over. So I was in the air over the top of the bike and didn't really land until here, facing the wrong direction and upside down. So my panniers have come off. I've always been warned about these buckles breaking when you crash. They don't look broken. One of the tabs looks bent, but it looks as though I should be able to just put them back on. And just as equally as important is I have 2 beers inside my right pannier. And don't worry, they're okay. I'll have to let them settle for a bit. We're a little dusty. My mirror mount is bent, but that's just the ram ball. Everything else seems intact. I picked up some grass here and there, but I should be able to get the panniers back on and continue down the trail. This is one of those times where you have to count your blessings that you have what feels like a pretty major off, and all is well. That feels pretty darn solid. The other one's a bit loose, so I've got these 6-foot endless ratchet straps that somebody explained to me that ironically the 2-inch straps fit perfectly into these 2-inch channels, almost as if they knew it was a weak spot. No big deal. I carry the straps just for this reason, and that's not coming off. So down the roads I goes. I just checked the GPS. For some reason I thought I was lower in elevation. We're just above 8,300 feet here. So me being winded isn't just isn't a matter of me being out of shape. I mean, that might be true, but at 8,300 feet there's big difference between here and home. I'm just going to walk up here a bit and scope for some sort of a landmark anywhere near. I may just hop back on the bike and backtrack a little bit, or go forward just a little bit. Before I start a fire, I want to make sure that I'm in the right area. I don't know if I can have a fire yet. I'm going to flag down the next park truck that comes through. But if I can have a fire, I don't want to waste time not preparing this. This looks to be pretty deep. I finished making my fire area. I received confirmation from the rangers rolling by that I am indeed within the fire permit area. I'm in the green section of the map, and I am next to what's called 3 meadows. I only see one, but apparently there's 3. So now that I've had time to digest what happened earlier on the trail. I just wanted to share that this is definitely a lesson to be learned. I said it before I started up the trail, that slow and steady wins the race. And I didn't follow my own warning. The truth is I did something stupid up here by myself, out in the middle of a national forest by myself. And I still can't believe that everything's okay. The only thing I've got is a soft wrist. It's a bit tender. I'm extremely lucky that being tangled up with this mass of moving weight, flipping end over end like it did, I'm the more I think about it, the more I realize how lucky I am and how fortunate I am to be here at camp and to be able to ride out of here under my own power. Normally, because I've got my billy pot, I could boil water in the fire here, but I also bring with this little one burner stove. I think it was like $10 on Amazon. So everything fits in the pan here. So I'm going to boil in a bag. I've got some stroganoff, the stroganoff that was in my back jacket pouch that might have literally saved my ass. So I'll boil that up. Basically the same mechanism that's in a Bic, I'm sure. So get that boiling. One step closer to beer. This is about it for the day. My brain is fried. It's approaching 8 o'clock, but it's already dark. I got my fire going. I'm gonna have one beer. I don't have any energy to have any more than that. I'm gonna call it a day. I'll talk to you guys in the morning. Good night. Good morning, everybody. Fresh out of the tent. It is cold. I was supposed to get down to 40 overnight, and definitely did, I'm sure. It's 8:15 in the morning, so I was 12 hours in the tent. I was up, actually woken up a little bit earlier. Loud gunshots. I think it was about 7 o'clock, and some random groundhog. I don't know if I put my tent on his house, but yeah, it's time to make coffee. After sleeping in the cold, I am feeling spots that hurt that I didn't feel yesterday. I feel as if I may have really severely bruised my ass on the my hip on the right side. I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I get home. But I'm gonna get set up and make some coffee. I spared you the details of me unpacking all my stuff. I'm not quite awake yet. I have water boiling, and I had learned at some point from somebody probably much wiser than myself that just because you're camping, you don't have to live like a peasant. So I've got my water boiling, and something that I bring with me on the bike is my French press. Unfortunately, the base is cracked from the crash yesterday, but the Pyrex is still intact, so I get to live today and have coffee. I'm boiling water this way. I've decided not to have a fire this morning, just because if I have a fire, that means that I'm committed to staying here a little bit longer. Let me prep this coffee and start thinking about making some breakfast. Nice leisurely morning around camp. I'm not in much hurry to pack up. The only thing on the to-do list today is to go riding around some more and save enough gas to get back to the gas station. It's just nice and quiet, except for the occasional side-by-sides and quads riding by. This place has been super awesome. This was a really fun overnight. Lots of riding yesterday. I learned a lot of things about how to ride my motorcycle, about how not to ride my motorcycle, and I learned how tough my motorcycle is, how capable it is. This loop up here is a lot of fun. I hope to bring a couple of friends up here and we can do the main loop. I'll let you guys watch this video and see the route up there towards Eagle Peak, and you can decide whether or not you want to go up that direction. I would say at least come up here and give it a try. You can always turn around and go back the other direction as soon as you reach any spots that you think are too much for the bike or too much for your capabilities. I definitely reached that point today, but that's the thing about these trips. I learn something new every single time I go. I'll say it again, I was really fortunate, really lucky to be able to walk away from what happened. And I don't take for granted the rest of this trip, the multiple weeks following, that I likely should be in a cast. I should have broken something, knock on wood. I've got everything packed up, not leaving anything behind. I've done a basic systems check of the bike. Everything seems to be just fine. That was a decent tumble, and everything is still just fine except for the boxes, and now those are stronger on there with the straps than they were before with those latches. So I'll be here for a couple of more minutes, and I'll just film the ride out. It's nice and scenic. It's just really beautiful up here. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't too boring for you.
Summer days are just a magazine, a magazine, a magazine. Cutting grass for gasoline, so I can see it soon. Fall I packed up the dust of all that I own. Handkerchief hung from a pole. I rolled out the day that the apples fell.